Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Matt
And this is Mike.
with the hardcover comic, and we're coming to you guys live via a new streaming uh, app
Service?
service. Yeah, a new live streaming service that we are testing out called StreamYard. I actually found out about this from Gem Mint, and I gotta say it's pretty badass. We're enjoying it a lot so far. So. Yeah, hopefully we have no technical issues this go around.
Fingers crossed, yeah. Hopefully not.
All right. So, first of all, welcome everyone. Let me remove that real quick here. So we are going to be discussing a few things tonight. We're going to be discussing some upcoming releases, which we will be going through here shortly. But I think first, Mike was really excited to talk with me about Harley Quinn on DC Universe, the new animated adult, not safe for work animated Harley Quinn series.
Yeah, finally got around to watching a TV show. One episode in though, so I mean we can't start bragging yet. But what a great start. I mean, it was so much fun. I watched it with my fiance, since she puts up with my hobbies and whatnot. But obviously, we saw the trailer, both of us. We talked about it a little bit, said how much we enjoyed it, and I must say the first episode did not disappoint.
Not at all.
A lot of violence, a lot of cursing. And I mean, it's we got the plot from the trailer, but I mean, it's Harley Quinn trying to, finally do her own thing, break away from the Joker, and show him who's boss.
Yep, and Poison Ivy's there to, catch her when she falls.
Yep, bring her to the other team.
So, I was kind of listening to the voice. I love voice actors and stuff, obviously. So I was kind of like listening to some of the voice actors. Kaylee Cuoco, did you ever watch Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
Okay. Kaylee Cuoco, who played Penny on Big Bang Theory, is the voice of Harley Quinn.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until I watched this. And it's funny because her Harley Quinn voice is actually pretty solid. It doesn't sound anything like her. However, her Harleen Quinzel voice, that one most definitely sounded like Penny from Big Bang. But her Harley Quinn voice, not so much. I'd say she was actually pretty good. I was shocked. And then after the episode ended, I was watching the credits to see if there's like anybody that I missed. She actually was an executive producer on the show to boot.
Wow. This is very surprising. I had no idea.
Especially with like as many F-bombs as that show dropped. Oh man.
All the bone splintering out of body parts and all that fun stuff.
Yes, the animation was good and solid. I enjoyed the animation a lot. Alan Tudyk is the voice of the Joker, which I love. Alan Tudyk, he's hilarious in like everything he does. So I was excited to see him actually do the Joker voice. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yep.
But
them and I liked, I guess, is you do see Batman show up and he's just sort of like in the background beating people up, with his one-liners or one or two words that he drops in once in a while. What else? Yeah, I mean, it was really interesting because like I guess a lot happens even in that first episode. I guess without there's not too much.
A lot. And then this goes on.
Oh yeah, but I'm looking forward to it, man. I mean, like you said, animation was really good. The voices were great. I was really enjoying, just the general atmosphere of the show was really, it was just exciting, fast paced, exciting. And it's like I mentioned to you earlier, there's something about like that 22-minute thing. Maybe it's, my childhood TV shows were usually 22 minutes, all that stuff that I actually can pay attention for all that time. And it's just enough where I'm like, okay, great. I got that little chunk of entertainment and now I can move on to something else. But yeah, it's great.
Yes, and to touch base on some of just the voice actors that were in this show, I pulled this up real quick because I recognize some of the voices and I want to make sure I got everything right. So not only did Alan Tudyk did the Joker, he also did Calendar Man for his little brief cameo, which was hilarious, by the way. None other than Mr. Diedrich Bader himself reprising his role as Batman. So that was super awesome. JB Smoove, who's a hilarious comedian, did Frank the Plant.
He's a great character.
Harley Quinn's Frank the Plant was awesome. Christopher Maloney did Commissioner Gordon. Phil Lamar actually did the banker, and that's about it for like the quote unquote big voiceover names. But yeah, so I was pretty and Lake Bell does Poison Ivy. But no, it was great. Super funny. Yeah, I wanted to watch it again today, but I've been around my little kids all day, and my soon to be 3-year-old, he's really starting to talk, and I was afraid to watch Harley. I used to be able to watch that kind of stuff around them because like they didn't know any better. But like now he's to that age where I'm afraid to play it because I don't want him repeating stuff. And so I was like, I really want to watch this again.
Yeah. Speaking, you mentioned Jim Gordon. I thought it's so great how they just exaggerate some of these characters. You know, like I said, Batman's just like 1 or 2 words beating people up, and then Jim Gordon's like losing his shit all the time. Everything's a big deal. He's got his coffee mug flying around. It was a lot of fun. It was great. I wish, I guess I wonder, like, I mean, Harley Quinn's really the only character that they can do something that crazy with, right? In the DC universe.
In DC? Yeah, probably. I can't really think of anybody else Kite Man. Kite Man, hell yeah.
How great would it be if he made a little cameo?
Dude, I so hope that he does. Well, based on the trailer that we saw for this show, there's going to be a lot more people making cameos and appearances and kind of, things like that.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Bane, because whoever did the voice of Bane, as we joked around about earlier, they went with the Christopher Nolan, Tom Hardy Bane, which is going to be epic because of the line just the one line that I heard made me laugh so hard. No, I'm really looking forward to that one. I think new episodes are dropping every Friday. Awesome. So we'll have another new one here in a few days. Pretty excited about that. No spoilers, because I also don't think you've watched it. But I just I want to throw it out there that if you're not watching it, you should. I'm not going to give out any spoilers, but have you seen any of The Watchmen on HBO?
I have not.
All right. So they are 7 episodes in. They're doing a grand total of 8 episods.
Oh boy.
So the 8th episode airs, the season finale, so to speak, airs next Sunday. And you got to watch it. There's as soon as this, especially the 7th episode, the ending, like I kept hearing people on the internet talk about the ending. They didn't say what it was. They just kept saying, "Oh, the ending." And I was like, I haven't watched it yet. So I finally sat down and watched the 7th episode. And as soon as it got done, I immediately went onto our line chats and started like, "Hey, who's seen the show? Somebody message me. I need to like talk to somebody about this. This is too intense." Dude.
Wow.
The first couple episodes are obviously character building because you don't know who the hell any of these people are.
Right.
Well, it's really kind of character building all season long, but the first couple episodes, I wouldn't say they're slow. I enjoyed them immensely, but it really picks up 6 and definitely the 7th episode. So I'm really, really excited to see what they do with the season finale, and then definitely hoping and praying that they actually bring it back for a 2nd season, which I don't know if it's been announced if they will or not yet, but it's incredible stuff. And Regina King has no business being nearly as good as she is in the show. Like, that girl deserves an Emmy for her performance. Like, she's incredible. Yeah. It's badass.
The only reason I've been like avoiding that show is because I don't know, when I saw the trailers, it didn't really seem like it had anything to do with Watchmen, like the comics itself.
Yep.
But
that's what a lot of people thought. It does more than you think. I'll just say that. Like, it's definitely its own thing. Like, it definitely, at first people are like, "Oh, it just takes place in the Watchmen universe and has nothing to do with the Watchmen." And it kind of definitely starts off that way, because they want to establish these new characters that you've never seen or really heard of before,
Right.
But then once they kind of do that, there's definitely some build up and things for, the actual Watchmen themselves that we all know and love. So, and there's like some nods and some mentions, and it's really good. Like, if you're a big Watchmen fan and you've been on the fence about it, I strongly recommend checking it out. Worst case scenario, it's a grand total of what will be 8 episodes. Come on, we've spent 8 hours of our lives doing way worse than watching The Watchmen. Who watches The Watchmen? Obviously not Mike.
No, not yet. Anyway.
So yeah, I do. I strongly recommend it. It's an amazing show. I enjoyed it immensely. So that is going to cover, I guess, our TV show portion of this segment. I know Mike's got to hit the hay here pretty soon. It's pretty late where he is, and he has to get up early for work. So we're going to touch base here on upcoming releases. So we're going to share our screen here so that way everybody can kind of see what we're looking at. This is off the In Stock Trades website, obviously. Under the coming soon, we are going to scroll through here so everybody can see the upcoming releases, whether or not we touch base on them. I think we're really only going to mainly focus on the big releases, if you will. Some of these smaller releases, like Adventure Time, for instance, we're not going to touch base on that. So,
yeah.
Okay. So release date for this coming up Tuesday. Actually, that's today or tomorrow. So this dropped on IST today, or it should have dropped on IST today. We have none. Sorry, we're a little late on this. We have none other than Absolute Dark Knight Volume 3, The Master Race. Have you read this?
Yeah, I'm actually, I don't know, maybe a controversial opinion, but I'm actually pretty excited. I am going to be getting this out.
It's controversial. Nice.
Yeah. So it's, Frank Miller and Brian Azzarello both wrote it. I think the whole Brian Azzarello factor plays a really big part in this. I think he probably took Frank Miller's ideas and sort of made them a little more reasonable and enjoyable, fleshed out. Yeah. Without getting too crazy and too political. So I enjoyed the writing a lot. Surprisingly, the artwork by Andy Kubert is phenomenal as well. I think there are some panels, they do some weird things, and some of the panels don't look too great, and they probably won't look better in an absolute edition because they're kind of like they don't have as much detail as you'd like. But the story's great. It takes place after Dark Knight Strikes Again,
which got horrible reviews.
Yeah,
when that book dropped.
Wasn't great. Was not great. Thankfully, obviously, you don't have Frank Miller's crazy artwork in this, except for the mini backup stories. So after each main issue of Dark Knight, there was this mini comic that Frank Miller wrote and drew, and I think Klaus Janson did the inks on it. And he would look at different characters within this, alternate timeline. So the first one was the Atom, the second one was Wonder Woman, third one was Green Lantern. I forget who was after that, but those, you see Frank Miller's artwork is still the same way it was in Dark Knight Strikes Again. But the story is really about, you're not just seeing Batman, you're seeing Wonder Woman, you're seeing Superman, his daughter. For those of you that remember Dark Knight Strikes Again, Lara, she's in it. And basically the story has to do with Kandor and the Kryptonians coming to regular human size. I don't want to give away too much because it's actually, in my opinion, again, a really good story. I enjoyed it. If anyone's been on the fence, I'd probably say don't get the Absolute because it's a little pricey if you're just jumping into it blind. But give an issue or two a shot online. I'm sure with all these sales going on now, and there's sales on Comixology all the time, you can pick it up for $1 and make your decision based on that. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and DC's also released this in several different formats as well. So it's this even in different hardcovers, I believe, too, like in little mini hardcovers. So Absolute's definitely not necessarily a have to go to. All right, next up, the one that we
the only reason I'm going for the Absolute is because I have the Dark Knight Returns and Strikes Again Absolute edition, like the 2-in-1 book.
You got to keep them uniform.
Yeah.
So next up on our list, big books to discuss, is none other than Animal Man by Jeff Lemire. That is the new 52 run. that was started out in 2011. We've both read this. I think we're both fans. So I'll ask you first. What are your thoughts on this book?
I love it. So when I was getting back into collecting comics, Animal Man, I think I picked up somewhere in the late, like around issue 18. Because I kept hearing these amazing things about it. I was getting back into comics. I had no idea who Jeff Lemire was. And as we all know now, with 20 titles he's writing every month, he's a force to be reckoned with in the comic book industry. And you had Travis Foreman do the artwork for the first half, I believe, and then Steve Pugh came in for the second half. The Foreman stuff's kind of sketchy. I think sometime in the past online you've mentioned to me or to one of the groups that Travis Foreman's artwork is kind of weird, and it's not the greatest, but
yep.
Steve Pugh is dope. I love his artwork. You get to see some villains like Brother Blood. You see, obviously, there's a crossover with Swamp Thing and Rot World.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then I think also Jeff Lemire draws the last issue, which, from what I remember, was a pretty powerful issue. So, pretty good release there, I must say.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've read it. I went back and read it. I don't know. It's probably about 2 years or so ago now. So it has been a little while since I've read it. It doesn't hold a candle, obviously, to Grant Morrison's Animal Man. I don't think anybody will ever write an Animal Man that even comes close to what Grant Morrison did. But that being said, this is a very close second. I did enjoy it a lot. It was a really fun title, especially in a universe that was in New 52, where a lot of titles in New 52 were very hit and miss. And you weren't real. It kind of varied on what kind of book you were going to get. But no, I really enjoyed Animal Man quite a bit. So I'm excited for it. I will get it eventually just because I want it as a companion piece basically to my Morrison Animal Man omnibus. So it's definitely a must buy on my list as well. We just got a comment up here. I'm going to throw it up on the screen because we can do that with this super new cool app that we're using. Mike, can you verify that you can see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. This is awesome. I love this new app that we're using. So Jeremy Wilson says, that's a good run on Animal Man. I've read the beginning of Morrison's run, but waiting to see how or when they're going to finish collecting the anniversary edition on it. But Lemire's run solid. Sir, you are in for a treat if you have not finished Morrison's run.
Oh, yeah.
That is, Morrison's run is by far the greatest thing I've ever, I remember the very first time I read it. Mike had been telling me about it, and it was supposed to be my very first omnibus ever, and I ordered it, and then IST messages me back and goes, oh, sorry, it's out of stock. And then it took me 6 or 7 months to finally get a copy. But once I got it, I remember sitting down and actually reading. It was when I first started getting into omnibuses. And I read it in 2 days, and it's 750, 800 pages, something like that. Read it in 2 days. I remember closing the book, getting up from my living room, just walking up. My wife goes, oh, is that a good book? And I just went, wow, I don't know what to say in regards to this. This was one of the most incredible things I've ever read. Especially that ending. It was killer. So Jeremy also then posted, I've heard a lot about Morrison's run, though, and the first deluxe I read was great, but this Omni got pushed back and didn't come out today. I think it got moved back 2 weeks. Well, damn IST for not updating their freaking website. Damn them.
Poor people adding this to their cart, and then they're not going to arrive for a few weeks.
Yeah, nope, it got pushed back, so...
But yeah, just to back up on the Morrison thing, I think that was oddly enough one of my first Omnis too, just because again I kept hearing things about it, and it's great for the first half, and then there's one issue where things just get completely spun on their head, and you're like, this is going somewhere unprecedented, especially at the time, and it just becomes this it just transcends what comic books have, I guess, what most comics, even modern comics, are perceived to be. It becomes something so much, the ideas become so much bigger than most comics you get to read nowadays, and it's great. I think I've read that run half a dozen times at this point, if not more. I love it.
Yeah, it was super spectacular for sure. I'm a big fan of it, and I'm glad that I finally did get the omnibus. I'm glad that you talked me into it, because I remember we were doing a 4 Guys in a Comic podcast. I don't remember what the podcast was about. It was something about odd heroes or odd powers or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was. And you brought up Animal Man. And at the time, obviously, I wasn't a big DC person. I didn't know who Animal Man was. I think I'd heard the name, but I didn't really know who Animal Man was. And I was like, and you were like describing, like, well, like if he could like be like a cat and like have cat powers. And then Red starts joking around about like, oh, can he be like a skunk and stink? And it's like we were just like had like this big running joke on Animal Man. And you were like, no, for real, like you guys have to read this. It's amazing. And so eventually I did, and you're right. And I'm so glad that you got me to read it because it was pretty freaking spectacular. So next up on the big release list, we have Annihilation Omnibus. Now, obviously, this is a new printing, as Annihilation was at a print for a few years at least, and went for on average between $200 and $300 on the secondary market. So for those people that shelled out the big bucks and didn't wait for a reprint, I hope it was worth it. Because I feel bad for you. That's gotta suck.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I've tried reading Annihilation. It's not that it was bad. The art was beautiful. I loved looking at it. But I had a hard time getting into it. I have a hard time getting into anything Marvel Cosmic, though, to be fair. So I'm not really a good person to ask. But have you read Annihilation?
Oh yeah, man. I haven't just read Annihilation. So this is basically, I guess for the completionists out there, the people who do dig Marvel Cosmic and haven't read this stuff somehow. Annihilation Omnibus is part one of, I believe it's a 5 omnibus set. So you get your Annihilation Conquest, your Realm of Kings, and then War of Kings. So it might be a 4 omnibus set. I may have lied, but Annihilation.
There's another one.
Yeah, I think
Realm
there might
War, and I thought there was another War one. I don't know. I don't know jack about about Marvel Cosmic, but I think you're right. I thought there was a third one. Maybe I'm wrong too. I don't know.
Who knows? Oh, that's right. There was a War of Kings Aftermath, but that's
it.
I don't know. Either way, whatever it was, there's a whole bunch of omnis that are basically like a continuation from Annihilation up until the end of, War of Kings, Realm of Kings, whatever it may be. Annihilation's basically the start of it. We see Annihilus come and basically destroy the Nova Corps, leaving just Richard Rider by himself. And he assembles a team. You get a whole bunch of little minis in there as well. There's a Drax storyline. There's a Silver Surfer storyline, and they all sort of tie in together as these events tend to do. I enjoyed it. It's again, I think it's a lot better when you read that whole saga of cosmic stuff, because it does the ideas just get bigger and cooler. But yeah, I mean it's good. If you bought that original printing at a high price, I follow Matt's feelings. I apologize. You should have waited. Just kidding. It was probably worth it. But speaking of Annihilation, I guess they also did release this new printing because there is a new Marvel event starting, I believe, this week called it's also called Annihilation. Annihilation Scourge, I believe, is the first first issue that's coming out. So makes sense.
Yeah, nope. I'm sorry, I'm double checking here to make sure that so we can correct ourselves. Oh yes, Jeremy again. You're correct. Jeremy, it is 5. And what else? It's Annihilation and Conquest, then Road War of Kings. That one we forgot.
There you go.
Then War of Kings, then Aftermath, Realm of the Win. You're like our number one tonight. And
Jeremy's crushing.
Actually, I think wasn't it Jeremy that assisted us with the other night too with the audio issues? If that was you, Jeremy. If it wasn't you, well, you get credit anyway. Moving on. Okay, so then we have some here that we're not really going to touch base on. I know a lot of people are pretty excited about the Avengers Epic Collection. There's definitely some people that are excited about it, especially if you're an Epic collector. Apparently, that is a pretty good run. Let's see here. What else do we got? Next page.
Let's see.
Birthright Volume 8. It's approaching the end. I'm so freaking excited. It's approaching the end. For those that don't know, I'm a big Joshua Williamson fan. I read Birthright probably the first 25, 30 issues, something like that. And then I haven't read like the last year or so. Because what I'm doing is I'm actually waiting for it to end completely, which I've talked to Joshua Williamson via Twitter about. I think if I remember right, he said he's got it out for 50 issues. Once all of the trade paperbacks drop, I am going to collect them all, and then I'm going to bind them custom bound into a nice Birthright hardcover edition, which Joshua Williamson said he wants to see when I complete it. So but I'm pretty excited about that. It's finally coming to a close, and it's by far like one of the greatest stories, at least the first 30 issues were, that I read. It's phenomenal. I really like it, but I couldn't keep waiting, so I was like, I'm just gonna wait till it completely ends, and then I'm just gonna binge it all again.
That's the move.
Yeah, it is, especially for us trade waiters. Let's see, what else do we got here? Have you read, I mean, I know this isn't an Omni or anything, but have you read any of Daredevil by Zdarsky?
I have not. No,
I've heard it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard similar things. I'm just, so many things to read, and I don't know. It's just I see it, whenever I look at solicitations and the covers look dope. The synopsis for the issues sound great, but hopefully someday, fingers crossed.
Yeah,
we'll see.
So another one that people are pretty excited about is the Ditko's Amazing King Size hardcover. They did something similar with Jack Kirby, the Jack Kirby King Size hardcover. They've also done something similar with Jim Lee's XXL. So yeah, it's kind of cool thing that they're doing there, that Marvel's doing. They're normally not bad price either. Like once you like get the IST discount and stuff, they're not horribly priced, but I've noticed they do tend to kind of go out of stock fairly quickly. So I don't think they do giant print runs on them. So if it is something you're interested in, I recommend trying to grab them, ASAP. So here's another one I found interesting. Final Crisis Omnibus New Edition. I was like, didn't they just do the 10-year anniversary reprint like a year ago?
Yeah.
And they're already reprinting it again. Well, but if you notice, this one doesn't have the 10-year anniversary like logo or anything on it. So I don't know if this is going to look more like the original or what, but I'm like, this is so weird because they just had that 10-year, like maybe 2 years ago. It wasn't very long ago. They just had the 10-year reprinting. So
last year, October 16th. Well, yeah. On Amazon, but yeah, that is weird. That one is out of print though. So I mean, I couldn't
believe that. I was like, all right, I guess. Sure. Why not? I mean, it's a good book. Don't get me wrong. It's a good book. I was just kind of blown away that it was already being reprinted again.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in Final Crisis, and maybe according to this, it's not going to have the 10-year anniversary banner all over it. I know that kind of annoyed a lot of people. So maybe that's why they're redoing it.
Maybe.
That's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know if like the contents itself are going to be any different or anything like that. Unfortunately, I don't know, but it's a new printing. So if you want it, there you go.
Yeah.
Then we got some manga, some Go Power Rangers.
I think it's a pretty good week for reprints. I'm sure we'll come across that Batman and Robin one soon.
Yeah. What is this one? Iron Man mask in the Iron Man mask and Iron Man Omnibus. That seems like a weird title.
There you go.
But yeah, so there you go. I don't know anything about this one. I didn't even know that was on there. I previewed this earlier and I didn't realize that one was on there. However, I can't lie, that Joe Quesada right there, that art does look pretty sweet. I love Joe Quesada art.
Yeah.
I am a sucker for Quesada art. That does look pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of someone back in the day named Exo Manowar.
No kidding. I wonder if he that guy.
Yeah, speaking of Quesada. So yeah, there's gonna be that one. Like I said, I wish we could click into this and kind of show you guys what's all included, but unfortunately it's not allowing us to. Joe Hill graphic novel collection.
Yes.
I've become a big Joe Hill fan. Lock and Key is by far one of my all-time favorite books ever. The Cape was a lot of fun as well. I'm just actually read the first 2 issues today of Basket Full of Heads. Mike, did you get a chance to read that at all by chance?
I did not know.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's good. The first issue is very much character building, obviously. The second issue is where it really kind of starts to pop off. It's a 5-issue mini. Apparently, all of these, what is it? Hill House, the Hill House imprint for DC. Yep. Apparently, they're all going to be minis. Like he's got Peter Milligan doing, what was it? I think it was Peter Milligan. Was it Peter Milligan or was it Mike Carey? One of them's doing the Dollhouse.
Mike Carey's doing the Dollhouse.
Yeah, Mike Carey's doing the Dollhouse, which is gonna be like another 5 or 6 issue run. There's gonna be some other ones coming out. I think the Dollhouse, there's 1 issue out currently. I don't think a second one has dropped yet. I think just the 1 issue's out. But yeah, so if you like Joe Hill, I do strongly recommend the Hill House comics, especially Basket Full of Heads. That I can't wait to finish. I can't wait for more to drop so I can read it. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, and it looks like they just keep announcing new series for the imprint too, so it's pretty exciting. Especially if you're a horror comics fan. I mean, why look anywhere else? They're making a whole imprint for it. Oh, Jeremy threw in some more comments, so I want to acknowledge him here since he's interacting with us. He says, so I'm really looking forward to picking up the Colin Bunn Dark Arc hardcover this week and checking that out. They're pumping out all Crisis stuff right now with the big crossover coming up on the CW. He's also reading Lock and Key. You're in for a treat, my friend, if you've never read it before. Andy's watching Nosferatu on Hulu. So he's a big fan of Hill too. It was Ray's character. Yes. Awesome. So awesome. Justice League by Scott Snyder Deluxe Edition, Volume 1. I know I believe are a pretty big fan of Snyder's Justice League. Yeah, it's from what I read, it was really good. Again, I didn't read all of it because it's Scott Snyder Justice League. There's an inevitable omnibus coming sometime down the line. I'm in no rush, but it is because of that book that I really got into Jorge Jimenez, who is he was the artist on. I know for sure he did one of the arcs called the Sixth Dimension arc, and that was, his artwork is just ridiculously good. I believe that's his cover for the hardcover there. Awesome stuff. From what I read, it's Scott Snyder's typical kind of stuff. He's a wordy guy. Everyone's chatty in his books. A lot of science facts and all that being thrown at you, but looking forward to an inevitable omnibus for sure. Awesome. Go ahead. The only thing with these deluxes is always like you just don't know what's going to happen with them, right? The same thing with the Rebirth deluxes. I was buying them, and then all of a sudden DC just stopped making them. I think maybe the Batman ones are coming out still, but I'm not sure. And it's tough to invest in a deluxe one of 2, and when you don't know if that second one ever is ever, especially with DC and how well known they are for canceling things. So all right, moving on. We've got Lego 5 book bundle. Woo. What is that? 464 pages of nonstop tips, advice, and instructions. Wow. I guess if you're a Lego fan, man, there's something for everyone. Let's see. Looking for the big titles here, so I don't see anything on that page. It's crazy how many books come out each week. You forget. Well, this was still the 4th. We haven't even gotten to we're going to cover the next 2 weeks. We're going to cover the 4th and the 11th, and this is still the 4th. Oh my Lord. Yeah, we're getting to the end though. We're in the S's. We're getting to the end. So like I said, folks, we're just going to be touching on the big ones. Mike's got to go to bed soon. Yeah. Silver Surfer Epic Collection reprint When Galactus Calls. We kind of touched base on that one last. Well, we kind of did. I don't know if it got recorded or not. But I did mention that one. Let's see. Scrolling. Superman for Tomorrow. Yeah. Thor God of Thunder hardcover. God Butcher. The Marvel Select. So those are going to be like the thinner hardcovers. If you are a Transformers fan, you got Transformer Phase 2 Volume 10 dropping. I got them all digitally, thankfully. Thanks to Humble Bundle. I think I paid $15 for like over 500 issues or something. It was insane. Yeah.
Gotta love that.
All right, we are finally to the 11th. Let's see here. What do we got for the 11th? Bloodshot trade paperback. That's the new current Tim Seeley run.
Oh yeah, it's been a fun ride so far.
Has it? I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. I'm like I said, I'm going through my Valiant run, but I'm not to 2019 yet.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
Another reprinting of Green Lantern Rebirth Deluxe Edition, which honestly I think you should just buy the Omnis and call it good.
Yeah,
but what do I know? House of X, Powers of X hardcover. I have seen previews of this, of like the hardcover that like the artists and writers and things get ahead of time. The pictures I've seen look phenomenal. It actually looks like a really, really cool hardcover.
Looking forward to it.
Iron Man. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying I won't be picking it up, but for those of you that are X-Men fans that have been looking for some sort of a return of the X-Men stories that you enjoyed in the past, it's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, it was like a good return too. Like that even got me reading X-Men.
Yep.
So Iron Man Epic Collection Golden Avengers getting reprinted. Let's see here. Looking for the big ends. I'm not seeing too many big ones for the 11th. So if you guys are dropping all your money on the 4th, you're good because there's not much coming out on the 11th. Silver Surfer Black Treasury Edition, the trade paperback. I read Rusty had us read Silver Surfer Black. I think you said you liked it. I was not a fan.
Yeah, I don't mind. I know you don't like Travis Moore artwork too much, but I'm a fan.
Trad Moore, yeah, no. I only like his stuff in Luther. That's the only one I actually enjoyed it in.
Series.
Swamp Thing Bronze Age trade paperback volume 2. If you're not collecting the omnibuses and things like that, you guys can get the in trade paperback. Volume 2 is going to be dropping. X-Force Epic Collection Executioner Song. Now, in my opinion, there's better ways to collect this because, well, we're the hardcover comic. So there are some nice hardcovers out there for this. However, if you're an Epic collector, I do strongly recommend picking this up if you've never read it. It's a really fun title. Executioner Song is an excellent story arc. I had a lot of fun reading that one.
You know what, though? The whole hardcover comic thing, I mean, where are we drawing the line here? Because, you know, at the end of the day,
we've evolved.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, it's all whether we're getting single issues or we're getting epic collections. The dream at the end of the day is to have a nice shelf of custom binds, right? Which are going to be hardcover. So,
yep. Yes, sir.
It's the long game. It's the long hardcover game.
I know. Mike and I have kind of refound our love and time and passion for doing these kinds of things and getting together and finally being able to talk shop and stuff with each other. Because for a while there, everything was via text. We hadn't really gotten to do anything face to face. So we've kind of refound our love and doing so. We're kind of like, well, why do we have to just talk about hardcovers? Why can't we just talk about anything comics related or anything, you know, kind of geeky related? So we're evolving from the hardcover comic to the hardcover comic plus geek stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
Don't slap a title on it, man.
Don't hold us to that title. Why the Last Man Omnibus hardcover. This is another book that I had the 5 deluxe editions on. I had Mike tried to get me to read it for a while, and I was like, nah, man, like that does not sound, because if you just hear like the basic synopsis of this book, it does not sound that interesting. Like, let's be honest. It just doesn't sound appealing, at least not to me. However, so many people I knew kept telling me I had to read it. They're like, dude, you're dumb. You got to read this. And so I did. And I flew through it. I flew through all 5 deluxes, and I got to say, it is a fantastic title. Absolutely amazing. This is actually getting the omnibus is a really good way to collect it, because a lot of people would agree with me too that while the absolutes are kind of nice, the art doesn't necessarily justify an absolute.
Agreed.
If you're not an absolute diehard, and you don't want to drop basically $70 a volume, so you're looking at, you know, a little over $200 for all 3 volumes. getting the deluxes originally was the best idea, but now you can go get the omnibus, and you can have a fantastic story in oversized art, but not the big absolute editions. And it's going to be all collected. So it's a really, really good story. I was blown away by it, and I had to eat my words when I said it didn't sound interesting, because it was phenomenal. I enjoyed it immensely. I don't know if I'd ever reread it. Like, it's, like how sometimes you see a really good movie and then you're like, that movie was great. I don't know if I ever need to see it again, but I really enjoyed it. Kind of the way I am with Why the Last Man. I'm really, really happy that I read it, but I don't know if it's anything I'd ever go back and read again. Maybe in like 10 years, but not as of right now.
Yeah, the only thing I haven't reread the series recently, but I think I've read the last issue about 4 or 5 times, just because, man, there's a little moment with ampersand in there that just really gets me every time.
Yes,
gets me every damn time.
Yep. Nope. I gotta agree with you there. So real quick here before we end, we got some people commenting, and we just want to kind of give some shout outs to Jeremy Wilson. I love this, man. You interact with us all the time. I greatly appreciate it. So let's see, what else did he say here? He said that, and I love this too, based on our recommendations and videos, he is actually starting the 6th gun, which I love. As everyone knows, I love the 6th gun. It was a really fun book. Colin Bunn, Brian Hurt, really awesome book. And he's looking forward to picking up and collecting those. So I'm glad that those videos help, because, man, the 6th gun is a very underrated book. Jeremy also said he will be picking up the House of X and Powers of X hardcovers and the Silver Surfer Black Treasury. And then we got my boy Jay Rocks. Jay is I know Jay from the Omnibus groups. We've done a lot of trades together. So Jay was asking what's up, and then what book is this, and he says, oh, you guys were talking about Why the Last Man. He agrees. It's a wonderful series. So it truly is. Like I said, it's just, I don't know if it's something I would ever need to read again. It's sort of a one and done. It's like the movie Signs. You ever seen Signs? With like, it's such a great movie, but I only need to see it once. I don't think I could ever watch it again. Yeah, I just want to.
Yes, but speaking of the sixth gun, I was just remembering those stunning Gunslinger editions.
Woo!
Oh my God, did they? Because I think they wound up making a 4th, like, regular deluxe, right?
I think they've made all 6 deluxes.
Oh, 6. Okay. Did they make?
There's going to be 6 books. Yeah, there's what was it? There's 5 out as of right now. I don't know if a 6th volume is dropped or not. I know Brian Hurt was working on the cover art for it at one point. Let me see if I can find if it is. Volume 6 is out for the Gunslinger. Volume 6 Deluxe Edition is out, or will be. Hang on, let's pull that one up right now. 6 gun, 6th volume for the hardcover editions are out. I don't know about the Gunslinger. I know the 5th Gunslinger is out. I don't know if the 6th is out yet, though. Oh, Jay agrees. He said, I felt that way about Winter Soldier. Loved the movie, but never felt the urge to rewatch. I think I would agree with that. Winter Soldier is one I could watch every few years, probably, but it's not one of those Marvel movies that I can just binge.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I just read the first deluxe not long ago, ready to jump back into it. Oh, yeah, he said the 6th one came out in October, so it was just released.
Sweet. Got some catching up to do.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, I'll kind of give you guys a little fun trivia bit here before we go. So the guy that used to do a lot of my custom binds, they were actually local to me. Haushin Bindery is actually local to me, and so I would utilize them in Omaha Bound Entertainment, and I would just go into Mr. Banks's office. David Banks, shout out to you, sir. I would go into his office that he had, and he would take me to the back of his office, and we would sit down and kind of talk for a little bit, and he would show me all sorts of super, super cool stuff, like prototypes and things like that they were working. The prototypes astronauts for that bind that you got from the convention. He actually showed me the prototype for that. He was showing me all sorts. Actually, I think you might have ended up with the prototype, but he showed me all sorts of like really, really cool stuff. And one of the things that he was explaining to me was the 6 gun. So Colin Bunn has actually, who's semi-local to us, he's in a different state, but he's like maybe like a 6-hour drive from us. He's not very far away. He has used Haoshin for a lot of his custom binds as well. He did like ROM and stuff, I believe it was, through Haoshin and a bunch of other stuff. And so he is actually, I don't know if it's still going on or not, I don't know, but the plan was for them to do a 6 gun like uber collector's edition. I mean, we're talking about, it was probably going to run right around $1,000 or whatever to collect. Like it was going to be very pricey if they ever did it, but it was going to be sort of like this really cool like design with like a lockbox and like 6 different keys to unlock. It was just, I can't even go into all the details. It was so amazing. That was a couple years ago though. I don't know if it's ever going to come out or not, but they did do something really cool for Matt Kint with the mind management. With those library books that he was showing us at the convention. Like that was super incredible.
I love it. Yeah, those guys really do some great stuff. Too bad it's obviously pricey because they're super unique items. But look at you throwing your street cred around, man. Oh yeah, just go into the offices there. No big deal. He closed
not
the
anymore.
door,
not anymore. He doesn't. No, it wasn't that.
What he locked the door
have
behind?
it. Yeah, he doesn't have the office anymore. However, what was really cool is Phil Hester. This is obviously a couple of years ago, but Phil Hester used to do the Kirby 100 or the Kirby 99 or the Kirby whatever, you know.
Right.
Well, 100 was his last year doing it, and that was when I went into the back of his office. So Phil Hester, who's semi-local to me as well, I think he's over in Iowa, but he's like maybe like a few hours away. He actually came down to the comic shop and did the Kirby 100 thing at one of my local shops, and David Banks has worked with them over the years and knows them and whatever, they're buddy. And he was actually taking all of the Kirby 100 arts and scanning them into his computer. So he'd have all of them digital. And he was showing me, like, we went through all 100 drawings and he showed me everything that Phil did on his computer. And oh, it was incredible, dude. It was absolutely incredible, the stuff that he was doing. It was it was epic. It was super neat to see. And yeah, so if you guys ever are in the Kansas City Comic-Con, the Planet Comic-Con, a lot of times David and Tim Benson, they'll usually have a booth or at least be walking around. So if you guys ever have a chance to see them at a convention, they might have some customs that you can buy from them. We've done a few, and they're really great guys. So let's see here. Just real. Oh, go ahead.
The other thing is also, if I don't know if they do this at every Comic-Con, if these creators do, but like that one year we did go to Planet Comic-Con. You know, Colin Bunn was selling a custom Venom bind. He was selling a custom Magneto bind, all for his runs, of course.
Yes.
Matt Kint had obviously his mind management one. So I mean, like, you can find creators who have had things custom bound. You know, especially if Houchin's there, you're most likely going to have a higher chance. But you never know what a creator might be selling at their booth if you get there early enough.
That's true. I remember we saw Colin that morning, and I really wanted that Magneto bind, and I mean, it was gorgeous. He wanted a little more than what I was willing to pay at that point, but it was. Yeah. And they sold quick. He also had a Sinestro bind.
That's right.
Yeah, he had. I think it was Venom, Magneto, and Sinestro were the three, and they're one-of-a-kind binds. Like, never been done before. They'll never be done again. They were made to Colin's expectations. So I mean, they could be redone, I guess, if but the artwork's not going to be the same. It's going to be a completely different looking bind. And you're buying from the creator itself, which is also pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get it signed right there, whatever it may be, right? I think, you know, it'll probably be like between $60 and $100 too, depending who you're buying from. You could sweet talk some of the guys down, I guess, but
yeah, Mike sure did.
Yeah, that's a good time.
So real quick here, and then we'll kind of probably jump off. But J-Rock's, good to see you guys being active on the channel again. Thank you, sir. It's good to be back.
Glad to be back.
Jeremy, the Gunslinger is out. 2 as the main character, the girl in the cover, real big, nice looking cover. I love your guys' channel and the context. Thanks to y'all and some other channels like Gem Mint and Omni Bros. Jay, I just got some books bound with Haushin. Just need to pay tomorrow and have them shipped back. Awesome, man. Post them. I know you got your YouTube channel too. I want to see that. Jeremy again, Jess, Omar, all those guys becoming part of the Omnibro group on Facebook. I found y'all relatively the same time, around July, August of last year. Never read comics, fell in love with collecting all things geek. That is an epic story.
That's great.
That is a super, super cool story. And he made his first Omni purchase in October of last year. Loving and wanting collections like you guys have, hating that it took 27 years to find out I was missing so much amazing stuff. And proud of how far I've come. Dude, you have no idea. I didn't start collecting the Omnis until, how long ago was that, Mike, that you actually got me into the Omni game?
A couple years ago?
4 years ago? Was it 4 years ago at this point?
Yeah. Wow, time flies.
It was definitely over 2 years. It's got to be at least 3 or 4.
Yep.
So, and I'm 37, so I was like 33, 34 when I started collecting. So yeah, don't feel bad. Having my own man cave with a library and set up some collectibles and statues. I love coming home from work, going in there and reading like I walked into a comic book store on 4th of July last year. Oh my God, like you never read comics, period, until last year.
Wow, welcome. And you went into
I've always been a comic reader. I just didn't collect Omnis.
And he went into the deepest dive too, straight for the omnibus. I love it. Good. That's straight. That's true love right there.
Straight into the deep end.
Into the abyss, yep. The never-ending desire for more. Yep.
The one thing I will say, be very, very careful on though, is the statue game. It gets. I'm sure you've seen Gemman's channels. Holy shit! Like I can't. Nope. I got 4 kids too, and like for instance, I'm not gonna go grab it, but I have a Spider-Man, like this little cheapy. I think I bought it on eBay for like less than $10. It was a nice like little glass Spider-Man statue from like the early 90s though. And I had it with some other statues and things up on top of my bookshelf over here. And yesterday I was looking, I go, something's off about my shelf. What is wrong with it? And I go and grab my shelf. I'm looking at it. My kids were playing ball in the basement over here. And I have like a corner section because I work from home a lot too. So I've kind of like a corner section of the basement. It's mine. And they were playing ball and threw a ball and it hit my Spider-Man and it fell to the ground and broke.
Oh my God.
And they didn't want to tell me about it. So I was like, hey, who broke it? So they told me today. And I was like, you guys, I'm not even mad. It's like a little cheap $10. I'm not mad. I'll super glue the damn thing. But I was like, y'all can't be playing it because I do have some more expensive statues up there. So yeah, you got to be very, very careful in the statue game, especially if you have children or you plan to have children, because they'll break your shit. Like you got to be careful.
It's kind of scary. I could just imagine, those 4 bookshelves I have. If one of my kids, if they ever happen, climbing up or something, I don't know, trying to reach like that little Deadpool statue I have and just having that whole thing.
Yep.
Oh God.
Yep. My little 3-year-old, because I have like action figures that kind of like on the bottom shelves. I had like my Swamp Thing one and like the Spectre and things like that. And he likes playing with them. I'm like, cool, whatever. Like they're out. It's not a big deal. But sometimes he'll try to scale up my bookcase here to get to like my Ghost Rider and my Power Ranger and stuff. And I'm like, no. Like he's going to end up tipping it over. And so, yeah, make sure your bookcases are anchored to the wall. That's another clue, another hint.
Yeah.
Banana Jester, I love the content and live streams you all put out. I just have to catch on new videos the next day. I should have been asleep an hour ago. I think Mike should have been asleep an hour ago too.
Probably. I've been up since 3 a.m. That's all right, man. The adrenaline's going.
All right, Jeremy Wilson, and all my collection of this amazing hobby that I love, and I owe it to your guys' channel and content. Yes, I have never read comics before. Yes, Jem's collection is amazing. I know it's a dangerous game. All right, as long as you know, that's all I got to say. Just be careful. Yeah. The nice thing I will say, and Jem's talked about this on his videos as well, but the one nice thing about this hobby is that it can, if you're smart, pay for itself, or more or less pay for itself. Obviously, you got to spend money to kind of make money sort of thing. But once you kind of get started and you like buy statues or omnis or what have you that, you're never going to reread and they're just collecting dust, you can sell, trade, do whatever and get your money back. Sometimes even more money than what you initially bought it for, to put in the back end of the hobby and rebuy other things. So that is kind of one of the really nice things about this hobby. Unlike some other hobbies where people go out and they buy, I don't know, stuff that you can't resell. Like there's no point to that. Like that's the one nice thing about this hobby though. So
yeah.
after you get a little bit of a collection, you can kind of offset and do things, which is awesome. But all right, well, thank you guys for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we learned a few things today.
Yeah, you were cutting out. Sorry, man.
My bad. All good. Hotel Wi-Fi, guys. Learned a few things today. Keep your man cave child-free as much as possible. Maybe have a little Fortress of Solitude key that you open the door with if you're able to do that. I know most women will not like that. And most wives will not like that, or partners, whatever you're into. And then the other lesson is be patient, because there are always reprints on the way.
Always reprints. I'm still waiting on the Hickman Fantastic Four reprints. But I mean, for God's sake, they're reprinting Wolverine, Claremont's Wolverine, and so trust me, they'll reprint Hickman's Fantastic Four, especially now that he's rewriting it, or well, I guess he's rewriting. He basically redid all of X-Men. Now that he's writing X-Men and stuff too, there's gonna be reprints on that, and I've been super paid. How long have I been wanting those books? Like 3 years now, something like that.
Yeah.
I've been I've read them. They're amazing. Made me cry. Not gonna lie. But that run was epic, and that's a run I'm dying to have, but I cannot pay those crazy ass prices. So I'm waiting for the inevitable reprint.
Yep. All right. Well, I see we got a couple more new comments here. So
yes. Jeremy Wilson. I also have 2 kids and 1 on the way. Congratulations, man. So I understand I do have the Sideshow Hulk and the Wolverine. Oh, so you went big with this statues, and the Gotham City Nightmare Batman from Sideshow. So I take it slow, though, little proportions. J Rocks, that's the plus with physical over digital. I agree, because you can resell, whereas digital, can't resell digital. And then lastly, Jeremy, it's crazy. I tried a lot of stuff that never stuck, and falling in love with this hobby, I can say y'all helped save my life. Holy fuck. As a recovering drug addict with a problem, I just switched addiction to this. God damn, man, you're gonna make me cry. Well, I'm glad that us and other creators like the Omni Bros and Gem Mint and stuff can help people like that. I guess I've never thought about it that way. Like that's fucking crazy. Well, first of all, congratulations on the 3rd kid. Congratulations on kicking the drug habit, and switching your addiction to this. It can be a dangerous game, especially financially, but it is going to be better health-wise for you. So, good job on that. I'm sure your wife or your girlfriend or whoever appreciates it as well. And your kids are definitely going to appreciate that. So,
awesome.
And you can even hand stuff down to them. If you never sell any of those statues or omnis and things, that's the other thing too. You can hand your collection down to your kids, like that's another cool thing about this hobby. So I'm just now getting my 11-year-old into it. So
crazy time.
It's taken me a lot of time, but no, man, that's fucking crazy. Like seriously, thank you for sharing that with us. That's seriously fucking incredible.
It's great.
I don't know what to say. I'm kind of speechless.
That's a great note to end things on. I mean,
that is an awesome note to end things on.
It's great. I love it.
So is my kids, my newfound love. Yeah, my family is thankful, even though I know they get ill sometimes. They're thankful and proud of where I am now. Oh, that's awesome, man.
That's great.
Well, thank you for sharing. That is super, super freaking incredible. White Wolf, hey guys, longtime subscriber. Really enjoy the content. Thank you, sir. We appreciate, or ma'am, whichever. Thank you. We appreciate it. Sorry, you gotta be careful on YouTube, I guess.
It's a wolf.
Yes, White Wolf. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. It's unfortunately coming to a close here, our show, but we'll be doing this.
Go back and rewatch it. It'll still be up, so you can rewatch if you missed anything.
Yeah, and we'll be trying to put something out. Hopefully
weekly.
Every other day, and weekly live streams.
Live streams weekly for sure. We're enjoying the hell out of this, and I think we finally found a system that works for us where there's not audio issues. Minus the hotel Wi-Fi, and something where we can actually have a little bit more fun and be more interactive and share screens and see comments and kind of things like that. So, man, this is freaking incredible. I'm beyond stoked. So, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in.
All right, everyone. Well, till next time. Power is yours.
Stay classy, internet.
All right, in broadcast.